morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm reviewing the 2019 BMW X2 M35i. So this model is the second model in the X range actually. It is the same chassis that they use for the BMW X1, and it is a more coupified version of it, of course, since the 2, 4, 6, and 8 models are going to be all coupified models of an existing SUV model. So today I have the M35i version of it, of course, and the M35i version is the performance-oriented model of the regular X2 S28i. This model comes with a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder with 302 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. Now, that's a lot of horsepower for this SUV, and to be honest with you, I mean, I really don't consider this an SUV. This is more of a hatchback, a hot hatch, as you can, some people will actually consider it. Now let's look to the front. So as you see in the front, you have full LED headlamps with turn signals that are LED as well. You have the amazing kidney grille that actually fits perfectly compared to the other BMWs nowadays. So they're too large and too obnoxious. This car has the right size of kidney grille. You have side sills, and these are functional actually. As you can see, there is a vent there in that exact location. Very interesting. And then you have here, as you can see, a functional intercooler vent, which is really great for whenever you are driving, of course, and it cools the engine. The front end of this car looks amazing, especially with the fog lamps. It adds more of like it's more of a sleeper, of course, in this front end, but it has that kind of sense of, oh, okay, I can kind of go off-road. And these were, not that tough to go on at all. So let's look to the side profile. The side profile is very interesting. You have one line at the top where the door handles are at, of course, as you can see right here. It goes through here all the way down to the wheel wells. And right here you have your 19-inch Continental Pro Contact all-season tires, run flats, wide spoke 19-inch rims with 2-piston calipers in the front. These are really, really big for the vehicle itself, and I love that it's so super big. As you can see, there is a lot of brake dust though, because this is, of course, a model that has performance in it, and usually you need those brakes to stop. You have these gray finished side sills that are done magnificently. I love the contrast from the black to the gray, of course. Looks amazing. Now to the back. So the rear, you have, of course, the X2 logo and the M35i logo. They're finished in their cerium gray color that is exclusive to the M Performance model. Mind you, this is not a full-on M. They will not be making a full-on M version of this specific model. You have dual exhaust tips with the exhaust on the left side being an exhaust that has a flap in it, of course. So then that can go ahead, and once you put it into sport mode, it opens up. And I'll show you a video clip of how that exactly sounds right now. So getting back to the rear, okay, you have your LED brake lights, but you have, for your turn signals, bulb type with the reverse lights being bulb type as well, of course. I kind of don't like that. That's a little cheap on my opinion, as well as this is a bulb type, this is a brake as well. But I feel like that's cheap. I feel like BMW really cheapened out on that. They could have done more. I mean, LEDs are not that expensive to be making anymore. So I think they could have done better, to be honest with you. All right, you have this amazing roof spoiler here. As you can see, it kicks up a little flap. It's not exclusive to the M35i. The 28i M Sport model has the exact same spoiler, as you can see. It doesn't really have a diffuser, as you know. I don't particularly like that. I think that if you're going to go ahead and make a performance model like this, you should add a diffuser, of course. You have your backup camera right there, as you can see. And here is the trunk area. Let me show you the trunk area. So to open the trunk, there's two ways. You can do, as you can see, the kick stand, and it'll open right up. Okay. Then you have your two buttons here, your lock and your close for the trunk. Of course, you close it right here. Once you close it, and let me show you the second way. This is a really cool detail. I love this detail a lot. You press right here in the M bottle and it opens right up. I love that detail. So getting into the trunk, as you can see, perfect space. 29.1 cubic feet of space inside of here. With the seats folded down, it's 43. I think it's a little small. I think that the height here is perfect though. I don't think it's too bad at all. As you can see, I have my camera equipment here for this. There is a little part here that you can go ahead and open up, and this will actually flip open and lock in place, so then you could put luggage standing up rather than having it just flat, and you have more space. But of course, this tonneau cover really messes up a lot of the space in here, and it's not really, as you can see, it's not really a big gap for you to fit stuff inside compared to the X1. Of course, the X1 has more cubic feet of space and has more of a traditional SUV looking / wagon type look. But yes, all right, let's get into the interior. As you see, the side mirrors are finished in that beautiful Syrian gray that BMW M Performance, all BMW M Performance has it, or you can buy the Shadowline pack that has that as well. Getting into the interior is easy. I'm 6'1", so here you go. You have the steering wheel that is M Sport steering wheel. It is not an M steering wheel. This is kind of like the way that the M2 steering wheel looks like, but it's not the same exact design. As you see right here in the middle, you have your tachometer and your RPM as well, with a little digital gauge in the middle. These are actually backlit OLED lights, so they're traditional analog gauges. They are not digital at all. And you know, in today's age, a lot of companies are doing that, but sadly this does not have it. So right here in the middle, you can change. You can see that it has your miles per hour. You see the speed limit around this area is 45 miles per hour, 83 degrees. We switch it, you can see your miles. You have your miles right here, how many miles you've done in this trip, the date, of course, the level for your engine, and you have your fuel as well. Tells you 397 miles I have on the tank left. You have 14.0 miles per gallon. I mean, that's because I usually drive in the city. Since I live in South Florida, it's city based. And you have your average speed, which is 12.3. And of course, you go back to 0 miles per hour. So back into the middle. So this is BMW's iDrive system, as you can see here. They have, you know, radio, communication, your map. Navigation is standard in this model. You do not have to pay extra for it. It is standard from the very, very beginning of the model, which is a good thing. Connected drive. You have your My Vehicle and your notifications. In the My Vehicle, you can go through all your settings. You can do your driver profiles. You can also change the ambient lighting within the vehicle. This vehicle does have ambient lighting, as you can see right there. I have it in blue. Kind of matches this Estroya, you know, this Estroya blue right here with the aluminum finish. It goes across all of the panel right here, and it's very, very nice. I like this interior type compared to the other ones that they have, where it's more of a glossy black. Glossy black is like this, and it gets a lot of dust, and I really don't like that particularly. I think they, you know, a lot of brands should start adding either aluminum or some kind of material to not have that kind of glossy black where you have all the fingerprints. Speaking of fingerprints, yes, this is a touchscreen. As you can tell, I can go like this, click back, go back, as you can see. And this model does come with Apple CarPlay. It does not come with Android Auto. Android Auto was first introduced for BMW in the iDrive 7 series and not the iDrive 6 series like this one is. So if you're looking for this vehicle, you have an Apple, perfect. If you want this, you have Android Auto, then this is not the vehicle you're going to be looking for when it comes to technology and connectivity, of course. As you can see down here, you have your emergency parking brake. You have the wheel so you can control the screen on the top, of course. You have your traditional BMW push button to push to unlock, put in drive, put in neutral, reverse, and here's the reverse camera actually. And the reverse camera is somewhat grainy, not a huge fan of the way the resolution looks, and I'm also not a huge fan of this touchscreen at all. I think BMW could have at least put the 10-inch display that they have as standard rather than this one. This is too, I think personally this is too, I feel like it's too small for the year that it came out, of course. As you can see, you have all your buttons right here. CD player is no longer available in the 2021 X2 anymore. They took it out. I mean, a lot of companies are doing this nowadays. CDs are going away. A lot of companies are investing in the whole entire using your micro C, your USB C devices nowadays. You have your fan speed, sync, which is a good thing. Good thing is that you have dual climate control, one for your passenger on a hot day. If you're feeling cold, you can go ahead and cool yourself off, you know. You have heated seats. These are optional, as well as the heated steering wheel, which is down here. This is a tilt and telescoping wheel, as you can see. It's a little tough. And then you lock it in place right here. Turn signals right here. Paddle shifters here, of course. And you have your roundout. The cup holders are great. They fit most sizes of drinks, not the huge American size drinks that you can get from McDonald's, Burger King, gas stations, whatever it is. These are not meant for it. These are European specific kind of cup holders. If you want big cup holders, you might as well go for the Japanese brands. They offer big, huge cup holders for that. You have a little tray right here, as you can see. You have a USB, a regular USB here. You have a plug here as well, which you see I have two USBs. And right here in the middle, you have your cubicle, your cubby in the center, where you could put your stuff. Like I have my mask here, some hand sanitizers, of course. And then you could fold it upward and have it opened right there. So as you see, there is a USB Type-C right here, which is a great thing. There is a total of 3, 2 in the back. I'll show you now. And you can put more stuff in here. I wouldn't advise putting things in here that people can see from the outside, of course. I would advise putting, like, you know, just pens, pencils, you know, a snack. That's basically it. I don't personally recommend putting anything big there. And over here, you have your glove compartment. Now, your glove compartment's pretty big. It's lined with felt, but in here, it's more of a grip material. And of course, they do it so then nothing falls off. It's more like the off-road, since it's an X2. A lot of the X models, especially X1 and X2, have this kind of area here. As you can see, I have some snacks in there. Perfect location for snacks whenever your passenger's in the passenger seat. Perfect for them to go ahead. You have your ventilations up here. Your mirrors up. You have, I do not have the optional panoramic sunroof. That was a $1,000 deletion from the build. You can honestly delete that still in the 2021 models, which is a good thing because some people don't like the panoramic sunroof. It adds too much weight and it reduces your headroom. But one, of course, as you can see, I have at least a good 4.5 inches of space up there. And now I'm going to go ahead and take you guys to the back of the passenger side. So let's go. And you have a nice thing. I like this too. It has 2 rondelles on each side. This is a hallmark to back in the old BMW CSL models, actually. So getting into the back seat, very simple. You have the same material up front. It is a soft Sensitech kind of material, kind of leatherette. This is soft padded. You have this here, your area for you to put your drinks in. Perfect. And then you have your door panel. So getting in, easy as all can be. I am 6'1", like I mentioned again. This, I have at least 2.5 inches of space for my legs perfectly. I could put them underneath the bottom piece and they do not have any issues at all. Right here in the middle, you do have your vents for the passengers in the back, which is perfect for the kids who, you know, need some cooling on a hot summer day. Of course, your 2 micro USBs right here. You have your lighting here, which if you do get the panoramic sunroof, you do not get this, of course, because it's going to be going all the way to the back over here. That's where it ends off. You have your seats here, perfect location, drink holder right there. I love how they did this instead of offering it here on the side. If you do that, you know, you have drinks, your kids are out back here, they're drinking. Guess what? They play around, soda spills all over the leather. It's going to be a pain to take out, but trust me, I mean, this is far better for a car company to do that. You have your seatbelt back here, which is an interesting detail I like. Look at this. Right there. It magnets right in, so then it makes no noise or no movement when you're driving on rough areas. That is a great idea by BMW to incorporate that within their brand. You have your speakers here. I will mention the speakers when I'm going to be doing the driving review of the car. So let me get out really quick so I can show you what the back seat is like. So the back seat has a pull tab here where you could switch it down. You have your perfect 40 split for the rear seats. Perfect. You have another one here in the middle. If I could find the you have one here in the middle. Let me just put this up. You have one right here, as you can see. So perfect right in the middle, ski through. Perfect for whenever you're gonna go skiing up north in the mountains, of course, in the Colorado Rockies, or over there in the Appalachian Mountains. You put it down, and you have one all the way over there, as you can see. Perfect loading. This is the only area that I can tell you that I feel like it's gonna be too it's going to be like if you have small items, it's going to get lost in here. But of course, that could be easily fixed. I think this does come up, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see, the seats go back up. Now here, let me show you something. So as you can see, the seat is like this, right? But you see the other one all the way on the passenger side is far back. BMW has an awesome thing. They incorporated this little pull tab where you pull back on it and it goes. It's a great thing. I love that feature. I love how you can go ahead and pull it back. So getting into the regular driving now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out for a drive and I'll see you guys then. All right, let's head out for a drive. I'm gonna go ahead and engage the emergency brake, disengage it, of course. Let's go for a drive, put it in drive. Let's do a U-turn right here. Reverse here. So this model has a 2.0 liter twin scroll engine making 302 horsepower with 311 pound-feet of torque. So let's see how that goes. As you can see, they were easier on the turns. They were easy. They were easy. Perfect way this car maneuvers. It is like you're driving a dream. And you know the reason why that's the case? Because it has a limited slip M differential up in the front to help with that whole entire torque steer that it has, understeer, everything. And it's perfect. They did it perfectly in this specific model. And I have to applaud BMW because this doesn't feel like an SUV at all. The ride height doesn't feel like an SUV at all. It has the perfect height. It feels like a hot hatch. It feels like the BMW 1 Series from Europe that we don't get over here at all. And I gotta say, I applaud BMW for making a model like this. Now there is some critiques that I have. The car is a little rough, in sport mode especially, even in normal mode. I think BMW could have improved on that. They could have made a better suspension system for the specific model. And I hope that they improve on that. I'm not sure if the 2021 model specifically has the new suspension setup, if it has a kind of suspension system that works better with road habits of every location, unlike this one does. This one has rough It's very, very rough. Now, let's go ahead and put it in normal mode. Let's go ahead and drive around for a little bit. And the car gets very quiet, tamed, perfectly sound. Perfect for whenever you go on road trips with your kids to any location at all. They have these Pro Contact Continental wheels up in the front. They are all season, but they are run flat. There is an option to go ahead and get non-run flat versions of these. They're performance tires, which I only advise if you live in a climate like I do, which is mostly about heat. There's a lot of heat around here. It's mostly summer all the time, except for sometimes where it gets cold, but there's no snow. It's just pure perfectness with sun, no conditions bad at all, except for the rain. So I would kind of advise to not get the summer tires if you live in a climate that has a lot of snow and you want to go off-roading a little bit, even though this doesn't have that much ground clearance, but you could do a little bit of, of course, off-roading. Now, like I mentioned, the M differential. It adds to the effect of driving around corners so tightly, feeling like if you are literally on a racetrack. And that's the best part about that. This is the M Performance model, and they lived up to that M Performance model by doing this specific trim. And I gotta say, this is a real true M Performance model. Not a full-on M. I kind of would hope that BMW could make a full-on M. I would love to see it compete against the GLA 43 AMG, which is the competitor to this model, of course. And talking about competition, let's talk about competition. The main competition between this, the X2, and all the other ones in this specific category is the Audi Q3, the Mercedes-Benz GLA, of course, and the Volvo XC40. Now, out of all those three, I think the XC40 is not the best one, personally, in my opinion. They have this specific, the engine they have is a 4-cylinder, but it's also a turbocharged and supercharged, of course, to mitigate that whole entire turbo lag, but those engines are not that reliable. I have seen a lot of people complain. I have heard from dealerships that dealerships are getting basically a lot of those engines in because of specifically Volvo creates those engines that don't have the longevity like their traditional inline 5 and 6 cylinders that they used to have of the past. So of course, personally, that one I wouldn't recommend. The Audi looks beautiful, but it does not have a performance model. It doesn't have an SQ3 like the bigger sibling that it has. I think that was a mistake on Audi's part. They should have done something about that. The trim level for that one is not the greatest. It's also very expensive compared to this. And let's talk about the Mercedes. The Mercedes GLA is basically the perfect competitor for this specific model. I think that they made it to compete mainly with the GLA 35 AMG, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I will go ahead and edit that in. That model has the same 2.0 liter, 302 horsepower, but makes 289 pound-feet of torque, which is lower than this. So let's go ahead. Perfect on throttle. Best. It's so good. I love the way that this engine feels. It feels more than 302 horsepower, of course. It feels like you're doing 330 horsepower, which is great. And I think for a small little car like this, it's perfect. It's perfect in my opinion. So that's it for the review today. Let me know what you guys think about this car. Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Let me know in the comments below what you think about the video location that I have over here, mounted on the side rather than a POV shot. I'd love to hear your critiques about this video, or in any kind of critiques at all with the way that I speak on this video as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's it from SoFlo Josh. I hope you guys enjoy.